Hey, it's Michelle coming to you with some kitchen inspiration for the dinner show. So I went to the farm stand nearby today for my CSA, and one of the things on it was cabbage, which I was excited about. I don't eat a lot of cabbage, but a couple times a year I get a nice head of cabbage, and I either make coleslaw or I make this recipe, which is called, sorry, I'm dropping food all over the stove, egg roll in a bowl. So started with my big stainless skillet and put some mild Italian sausage, you can use hot if you like it, into my skillet, and I'm browning it up, and I'm using my mix and chop. Your mix and chop in our catalog is black. This is one of the really old Help with Cancer ones, which was pink back in the day. Okay, so now I'm going to add some stuff to this. So the first thing I'm going to add is an onion. I'm using my 5-inch Santoku knife. This is the one with the black handle. The handles are gray now, but the knife itself is exactly the same, and it has a lifetime guarantee. It's our forged cutlery, German steel. Okay, and I'm going to use, I need to order a new thing for my phone because it keeps falling off and it's driving me bananas. All right, so I'm going to put my onion in my twist and chop. And get it ready to go in the pan. 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,004 seconds. All right, let's see. Let me see if I can put this back together so I can put the phone down. All right. 4 seconds in the twist and chop. The onion's ready to go into the pan. I'm going to use my skinny scraper to get it out of here. This is a very fast recipe, which is great, and it's a lot of veggies, so that's a good thing too. Put my twist and chop back together because we're going to use it again in a second. All right, so I want my onion to soak up some of that sausage flavoring and get a little bit brown. Okay, so that's kind of like on medium high. All right, so the next thing I got to do, I put this paper towel here, and then I got distracted by the phone and didn't use it. I'm going to use my convertible peeler. You can convert it by doing that if you'd rather you do it that shape, or you can do it like this. So I'm going to quickly peel my carrots. Now this recipe, when you look for it on my website, actually says use coleslaw mix, but since I was at the farm and they had a beautiful fresh head of cabbage, I'm not using coleslaw mix. So I'm adding carrots because that is one of the ingredients in coleslaw mix. Basically, coleslaw mix is carrots and cabbage. See how easy this peeler is to use? Let me tell you, peeling things should be an easy job that doesn't require a lot of effort. Shouldn't be something that you're like frustrated by. Okay, I always put a paper towel down so that I can just kind of lift it off my cutting board. All right, get that in my way. Cut the ends off this. I'm going to cut it in like 2-inch segments because I'm going to throw it back into the twist and chop. And what else do I want to put in the twist and chop? I think that's it. All right, let's put the carrots in here. Pop this lid back on. And in about 5 seconds, my carrots, I got one more piece in there, so let me just hit it for another second. There was one little hunk that must have gotten stuck on the blade. Perfect though, right? Super fast. You want to cook really fast, this is the tool to do that with. All right, I'm going to drop my carrots in here. And then I'm going to grab my beautiful head of cabbage, and I'm not going to use the whole thing because that would be too much. I'm going to use about a half a head. Twist and chop out of the way. So let's put some peppers in next. Had some left over there. I got a nice yellow pepper. I always bang it like this because it pulls all the seeds to the middle. And then I cut it from the bottom. So when you cut it from the bottom, super simple No waste. Very, very easy. You can get your peppers prepped in no time flat. Having the right tools makes cooking so easy. I used to think cooking was really hard when I first got married, and then I started Pampered Chef, and they taught me how easy it is, and it's really about having the right tools. All right, let me just give this a quick stir. I'm done with the mix and chop, so I'm just going to drop that into the dishwasher. And I just want to kind of stir this together. This already smells great, and it didn't have very much ingredients yet. All right, I got this really nice head of cabbage. Pull off the outer two pieces. Grab my knife, and I'm going to hack this baby right in half. Save the other half for another use. My husband will probably wind up eating it in his salad all week because he likes to do that. All right, there we go. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to cut it like in 1-inch segments. And then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to slice it thinly. So now I'm getting pretty small pieces, kind of similar to what you would have gotten in that bag of coleslaw mix. If you don't have a head of cabbage, go ahead and use the bag of coleslaw mix. That's what I do in the winter. If you do not have good knives in your kitchen, let me tell you, I did not understand what good knives felt like until I got my Pampered Chef ones. You want to talk with me because we can get them for you for half price when you have your own party, or 60% off, which is even better. It's such a good deal. All right, I'm going to drop this in here next. These cutting boards also bend and drop the food right in. Isn't that cool? This is the old style. The new ones have a different picture on them, but they work exactly the same. And these have been around probably 15 years. You can see the scratch marks on them, but it never goes through the bottom. And they're very thin. I have a whole stack of them in my closet. They're called flexible cutting mats. All right, let's see what else I'm supposed to do now. Add the pepper and the coleslaw to the skillet and stir well. Okay, I did not do that, so let's do that. Let's stir well. Because this cabbage is going to cook down, and it's going to put out a bunch of liquid, right? Just like all vegetables do. So there's a bunch of liquid going to be added to this in a minute, but from the cabbage itself. Because right now it's kind of dry. All right, but we're going to add some other stuff to it. Then I'm going to go back to my twist and chop. While that's cooking, put my twist and chop back together. And I'm going to start mixing all the ingredients in there. Oh, okay. So the other thing I got at the farm stand today, I got a bunch of stuff, but the other thing I got was this beautiful green onions. They're gorgeous. I got a whole entire batch of them, like 8 or something. But the recipe calls for 2, but since this is so big, I'm only going to use 1 because it's way bigger than the kind you get in the grocery store. All right, dropping those in the twist and chop. And I should rinse my hands because I'm going to smell like onions later. That's always fun when you go to bed at night and you smell like onions, right? Okay, and then I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. My measuring spoon, my adjustable measuring spoon. Three tablespoons of soy sauce. 1 to 2 teaspoons of sriracha. I'm not a big fan of spice, so I'm going to put in probably half a teaspoon. Okay. And then I need to put in a tablespoon of honey, so I need to get another spoon. Because I do not want to mix my measuring spoons. Do I have any honey up here? Yeah, I got a little bit. I always have honey, but sometimes I know that my daughter used a bunch of it. All right. And so this is the sauce that's going to go on it. Oh, my honey's all jammed up. Did you know that honey is the one food in the world that does not spoil? So we kind of think it spoils because it gets stiff like this, but that's not spoiled. You can still eat it. It's just crystallized. It kind of dries out. But honey is, the only food that never spoils. All right, there we go. So this choice and chop's getting a workout today. Let me stop for a second and stir my food again. Let's take a look at this. The other thing I'm making is rice to go with it. So I put some brown rice in my rice cooker, and that is going because I'm going to serve it on that. Okay, so now I've got all these things in the twist and chop, and I've got the lid locked on because the lights won't turn on until you lock the lid. Want this really well mixed. All right, let's look at it. Looks perfect. So now all I'm going to do is pop this off and drop it in here and let it cook for a couple more minutes. And that's it. That's the whole recipe. It's basically vegetables, sausage, honey, sriracha, and soy sauce. And that's it. Doesn't have a lot of ingredients. I mean, it has a bunch of ingredients, but nothing bad for you. All good stuff, especially if you use low sodium soy sauce. And serve it on some brown rice. It's a really healthy meal, and your family will think that they're eating at a Chinese restaurant. It's really yummy. It tastes just like an egg roll. That's why it's called egg roll in a bowl. And if you want a little bit of crunch to it, you can add some of those like Chinese noodles. I don't have any of those in my house today, so we're skipping that part, but that really helps if you have little kids, because they like those. So thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great evening. And make sure you follow me on Michelle's Kitchen Inspiration on YouTube so that you can see all the videos. That way, if you ever want to go back and reference one, you can do that because they disappear here on Facebook after 30 days. Thanks so much. Have a great evening.